Hey everybody, welcome to Camper's Choice. January 26, 2026. Just went through a major storm here in central Texas, which we rarely get, maybe once every 5 years or so. Got a big one in 2021. We've had power outages here, but nothing that we can't handle. Feel for everybody that's up north that can't get to Florida, is maybe stuck for financial reasons, or you just want to be where you're at. That cabin fever is... I grew up in Michigan, and I know cabin fever and the SAD or SAS or whatever it is, that syndrome of staying in the house and not getting out and all the gloomy weather. I mean, there's stuff to do if you can get out and snowshoe and you don't mind the shoveling and snow removal and get out and ski and snowmobile and that kind of stuff, and you're dressed. We don't mind dressing for the weather. For me, I don't know, lucky, but I just retired here in Texas and have this place here that for the most part is mild but sometimes chilly weather. And once in a great, like every 4 or 5 years, we'll get some snow on the ground like we did this year. And wish that, I wish I was in Florida right now, watching some of the videos and seeing people in shorts and stuff. But even now, they're still turning on their heaters, at least at night. And I had originally planned to go down there for a month. I would have been originally gone from about the 10th or so to a month and a half in February, but I just decided that, the place that I was going to rent was just a studio apartment, and I had 2 dogs, and I just said, they didn't have much of a backyard, and I kind of decided to go kind of late, so I wasn't able to really maybe scope out some of the better places, a house or something, or cottage that had more room, for the dogs and stuff. I could leave, in case I want to do some Uber Eats for my, business or whatever, or just go out and do some fishing or whatever, scout around on my own. So, and I just got a new dog, and I'm not sure that he wasn't going to tear the place up, even though I kind of got insurance and stuff. So I decided to cancel and not to go. The place I have is 3-bedroom, 2-bath, plenty of room inside. There's a large enough yard outside for them to run around in. Plus, I take them on walks and stuff during the day, and if I go, I could play golf down there, but up here where I'm at, I've got a group that I could go Tuesdays and Thursdays. So everything's more expensive down there in Florida, although the weather is the big draw and stuff. But I would have had to have shut this place down here, which is there's a full checklist of stuff that you got to do. I've been broken into a couple of times, so I take the stuff out and put it in storage, and you shut down the mail, and you'd have to drain the hot water heater, and just a lot of stuff that a lot more stuff. And then when you come back, you gotta get the stuff out of storage, start your mail again, and there's a lot more checklists. You clear the stuff out of the refrigerator, and it gets to be, I'm already moving, I'm already snowbirding a couple of times. So the third time would have been, although doable, or at least for this year, probably not. Now, when I went in the future, if I go down there, I'm already staying like in a tent going down. So will be 4 nights anyway in a tent, which is, in January is doable. I'd had state campgrounds lined up, so I could at least have a heater in there, and then I'd have 2 air mattresses, one for me and one for the dogs, and so that would have worked. That works out. But then when I get there, it's like, well, maybe for next year, I get a state campground, and again, I'll have a heater there, and I'll take my, be able to use 1500 watt heater, and I'll plug into, use my refrigerator. But what I thought about doing was, instead of a tent, maybe get a U-Haul for 2 weeks. I've seen that online, and that way, I'm off the ground, and I don't have to per se bring everything out of my tent every day for fear of somebody's going to steal the stuff or whatever, which they probably more than likely wouldn't. But if I had anything in there of value, this way I could, leave it in the U-Haul and lock it, and then go off in my own car and take the dogs on a hike, or go fishing, or do what I want to do. And also too, gives me time for next year to look for a house with, that's maybe bigger yard, and it has a little more amenities around the area. Not so much that, but just have washer, dryer, and just a little bigger living space. So I thought also too of buying a camper and a truck, to take down. But for me, for taking it down for a month in January, it's just, I could probably get something decent for $20,000 for a truck, and maybe a used truck and a used camper. But for a month, would it really make sense? And I'd like to get your guys' comments on that. Are you in a position to go to Florida, and you go down? A lot of you I know go down, have a place in Florida, or you go RVing or down there and stay down there for for whatever, 3 to 6 months. But are there any of you that don't have an RV, or don't have, and you're looking, you do some creative forms of camping, whether it be, I don't know, tent camping, or staying in a U-Haul, or maybe you rent a U-Haul space down, or rent a RV space down in Florida. Anyway, that's what I'm looking at doing next year. So if you got anything out of the video, please consider the coffee and beverage fund, donating to the coffee and beverage fund. Hit the like and subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Safe travels, everybody.